together, no matter what the weather. Where'd I put my hat and gloves?
Hey, we got people. Another Wednesday. How's it going? Punk ass hippie, like that name. Peter Siri, Ethan Ents. We got all the hits coming in. How's it going? Got a good show today. I have three of my actual friends. There are people that I talk to semi-regularly. And should be good. They all have to say. Grant and Karen are very interesting people. Josh is one of the best singers and songwriters, period, anywhere. So yeah, since he's here, we'll start. And in the meantime, this is a song, I guess. Josh releases a crap load of music. I can never keep up. But I guess he has this song called For the Holidays out. The band's Junior. It's just JR. Yeah, it's a pretty dope single. You all need to listen to it because it looks like it's not getting as much love as some of their other tunes. So as soon as he's here, I'll give you a little bit of background. I'm going to turn this down. It's a little distracting for me. I've known Josh forever. I don't remember exactly how we met, but it turns out he is Rob's cousin. And they're not, like, close, but they know each other. I mean, obviously, the family. He used to be in a band in Detroit called The Silent Years, and also just very active in the Detroit music scene. So back in the day, we used to play shows together. Yeah, hold on. He's asking if we're here. We're here. Join in. Okay. Yeah, so we used to play a bunch of shows together all over Michigan and Chicago, and I think they might have done a few other dates with us at Sally Hall. And I guess over the years, at some point, I'm just going to give the background before he gets here, I guess, so he doesn't have to repeat all this. But at some point, he was really struggling with the Silent Years, went through a lot of lineup changes, and essentially, like, he started this new band called Dale Earnhardt Jr. And I think because of its name, all of a sudden, people, like, he got a new influx of life into the music and made all these new fans and got a little bit of fame. And over time, they changed their name, and here he is, the Junior Stan. He's been making music as Junior. Josh.
Hey, oh no, I'm sideways.
That's okay. I kind of like the sideways look.
Okay, cool.
No, it might make people dizzy. Let's try figuring it out.
Hold on, let me try and switch it around.
Okay. I gave people a brief introduction to you as a musician. There you are.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. You're frozen, but I can hear you. So
okay,
maybe it'll unfreeze at some point. There we go. Now I can see your guitar. But you're frozen again. Just a different position. It's like,
Hold on.
There we go. I can see you. Oh, lost him. He's trying again. What else can I tell you about Junior? They had a giant hit with a song called Gone. That played in, I feel like it was in like some commercial that I couldn't get away from for about 2 years. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you know what commercial that is? Anybody? I'm reading comments for a quick minute. So, there he is. Okay, I'll get him back. Dun, dun, dun. This song. Okay, let's turn that off. Wait, please join. Did it work? Yes.
Yes.
We got you. You're live.
Hey, guys.
Where are you calling me from? Are you West Coast?
Yeah, I'm in my studio in LA in my backyard before I go into the other studio today.
What's the other studio today?
I'm working at a guy named Gus Seifert house today.
Cool. What do you? Are you writing day? Recording?
No, recording this song that we wrote.
Today?
Well, yeah, we're
Oh, you're working on a few things.
working on a few things, yeah.
That's awesome. Wait, so, uh, wait, where you're recording with a band these days? You're just having a full band come in.
Yeah, no,
That's the thing?
just like session guys.
Okay.
And we're also making our new Junior album, which they're doing drums on in Detroit. So I was on a FaceTime with them earlier today as they did that.
So I got a couple questions that were like, why are you so prolific? And I have the same question. How are you so prolific?
I feel like I'm not. I think that I think that the best advice I've ever gotten is like, just because you're a musician doesn't mean that you can like fuck off every day. You got to kind of treat it like a 9 to 5. And so I think I've kind of always tried to put in work every day and write, But for the amount that I work, like I feel like I come up with not that many great things.
You come up with a lot of great things. I mean, every time I've worked with you, you're like you have too many ideas, if anything. You're like, oh, I have this song I wrote yesterday and this song I wrote the day before that, and they're all good. And you're like, okay, where do we start?
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I also try to like catalog everything kind of like obsessively. So like any little idea that I've ever had is like, there's like a voice memo of, or like a note about, and so I don't know, it's kind of annoying, but at least I always have something, even if I'm not like kind of in the spirit that day. But have you read Jeff Tweedy's book, How to Write One Song?
It's sitting on my desk, but no.
Really cool. Like there's all these like exercises, because to me it's like about avoiding writer's block, And
yeah,
so
totally.
There's like all these things that I do if I feel like I don't have an idea for that day. Like there's like all these tricks. Like I have like an app that I use where I'll just like throw in random chords, and then like I'll just try to write a song with those chords, and eventually like something happens. And I think the thing that Jeff Tweedy said that I really agree with is that it's not always about inspiration. Like it's about having the discipline to sit down and do it, and then you'll have an idea, and that idea will lead to a notion, and that notion will lead to exploring something, and sooner or later you've created something and you don't kind of know how. But
it's true. Something that always stuck with me is Philip Glass said that like his routine is like he wakes up at like I forget, but like 7 a.m. every day, and by 8 o'clock he's at his piano, and he always spends like 8 to 1 every day just writing for 5 hours. Doesn't matter what it is, and then he's done with everything. Like the rest of the day is all publicity or any business he has to take care of or personal things. But yeah, he treats it like a 9 to 5, but it'll be 8 to 1. Which is a lot of time for music, I guess.
I've talked to people who have different processes, though. Like I don't mean to be like name droppy, but I was talking to Regina Spektor about this one time, and she was saying that sometimes if she doesn't have an idea, she's like, well, when was the last time that you like went to a museum or took a long walk or listened to a new album or ate some food that really inspired you? Like her take on it is that like there is like a certain level of inspiration that you have to like be a person doing people things to kind of experience.
I think it's a fine line. It's easy in our profession to just get lost and get nothing done, which I find myself in periods of that mindset. Like I find like if you book stuff and you hold yourself accountable to things, they get done.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's really tough.
Yeah.
In any creative art, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, you can spend weeks, especially during the pandemic. There was like, I feel like there was like a month where I didn't do anything, and it was like easier then because you're like, well, no one's doing anything.
Yeah, and half of them were and half weren't. What?
Makes you feel bad about yourself,
Yeah. So currently, you're in the process of I guess, how do you start a new junior album? Do you just say, okay, time to get some new material together? Or is it a matter of just having enough material to start?
No, I mean, we always have enough material. It's kind of, honestly, this was like during the pandemic that we kind of started this, and it was really more legitimately like, how the hell do we get in the same room? But like anytime that kind of like things were looking better, and especially like once we both got vaccinated, we just started getting together like every so often. Dan came out here, I went there. Yeah, so we've got like 14 songs almost done.
Nice. And you're independent at the moment, is that correct?
Yeah, we have our own label with Secretly Group,
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, yeah, we can keep on releasing stuff.
Yeah, you're so prolific. Maybe you're not, and it's just that things get thrown at us as like, I don't know. Your Twitter feed's probably like all musicians. Check out my music. Check out my, but I can't keep up. But I just listened to For the Holidays, and it's great. I really like that tune.
Thanks. I can't take credit for that. That was really primarily Dan. Like,
okay, well, tell Dan. Love it. Sounds great. And it seems like Good Old Days is doing really well, or got a little bit of momentum. But that was already over a year ago. Sorry.
Okay, I mean, you know, I've lost track of time in the pandemic.
Yeah, me too. It's just crazy.
Wait, are you
anyway
in DC or New York right now?
I'm in Nashville at the moment. This is I'm scared if I move my camera. Let me see. I can show people.
You can move it.
Let me flip it. Oh, I can't flip it, but okay. So this is you know, the couch is a work in progress, but yeah, my Nashville digs.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Big change from the New York vibe.
Yeah, there's so much more space there already.
Yeah, I mean, you get like a house here compared to like a teeny apartment in New York. But I'm still back and forth. So you wanna play a tune?
Yeah, I was gonna play the one that we wrote together, or one of the ones.
That's awesome. I'm gonna get out of the frame, so because it's kind of awkward standing here, but cool. Yeah.
Can you hear my guitar?
Yeah.
Okay. Not sure I know how to be living without you. I've seen it all before, don't want it anymore. There's nothing that's true if it isn't about you. The sun comes up and so begins another day in time, and here we find ourselves hanging on. Your love was like a wave that came and carried me ashore, but disappeared into the sea again. Please don't go chasing me away. Please don't go chasing me away. Oh, please don't go chasing me away. Hold on, slow down. 'Cause I'm not about to be living without you. I've lived that way before, don't want it anymore. There's nothing that's true if it isn't about you. Love is coming, love is gone, and people everywhere are altering plans they've made. You can't go back when something's changed, but everybody wants to feel the same as them way back when. Please don't go chasing me away. Please don't go chasing me away. Oh, please don't go chasing me away. Hold on, slow down. The storm's coming through, cover your windows now. Screams through the sky, shuts off the light. Just know that the rain comes and washes everything away. In the end, new seeds start to grow. Please Please don't go chasing me away. Please don't go chasing me away. Oh, please don't go chasing me away. Hold on, slow down, slow down.
Yeah, it sounds great. It's a treat to hear that like being played. You know.
I did it a half step down just because it's early for me yet, you know. But
yeah, what time is it? 1:15. Yeah, it's breakfast time. You know. Anyway, cool.
Wait, I've been meaning to tell you. I'm so proud of you guys. Like, I can't believe how huge Tally Hall is again. It's so funny and amazing to me.
It's really stupid.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I think that your post about it was like spot on, you know, that you kind of just never know when, I don't know, you just gotta make stuff you believe in and like, hope, like, it's like, I mean, I think about like John Bisger and Abso Facto too, you know, like he put out that song Dissolve and then like 8 years later it was like a #1 song.
That's crazy.
Wild.
I don't really know his story. Is he another Detroit guy?
He was an Ann Arbor guy. He had the band called Mason Proper.
Oh, I loved Mason Proper. I didn't know that was the same person.
He was in Holland Kimbo, and now he's got Abso Facto.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Abso Facto was Mason Proper. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I'm just hoping that, you know, one of my old songs eventually catches fire.
There's going to be a day, you know, when something gets licensed that you're not thinking about.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not that you really need that one hit. You know, I feel like you guys have steady momentum, and if you release things, they're listened to at this point.
I would love to have one big hit, you know? That'd be great.
You don't consider Ghana a big hit?
I mean, it was like an alternative hit, I guess. You know, it wasn't like a big, like, worldwide hit. But I don't know. I mean, I guess, like, I've kind of stopped thinking about that, you know? Like, I don't have control over that. And, like, to think that I do is kind of, like, I don't know. I feel like there's, like, a couple people who can, like, write with that in mind, you know? Like, like I think, like, Max Martin can write with, like, this is going to be a #1 hit. He can, like, make it happen. But, like, for me, if I try and write something like that, it just always sucks.
Yeah. It's tricky. You just write weird. Write what's you. And then, I don't know. Anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Good to see you. We'll definitely catch up in the next couple of months. I'll be out there in LA. We talked about this, but yeah. Cool. Thank you for joining me.
My first Instagram live, so sorry if I'm a kind of a noob.
You nailed it. It was great.
Thanks
so
for
everybody can check out Junior JR space JR, Spotify, Apple, whole deal. Website, merchandise for the holidays.
Thanks for the shout. Thanks for the show.
Thanks for joining. Peace.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be funny if it's just like stuck on that screen. So next up we have big ear pedals. So Grant, let's see if we can get them in. Big ear pedals. Join me after emergency texting, you know. So I met Grant and Karen years ago in Brooklyn. We were at I was checking out a band at Gibson showroom, and Grant was slated to play the gig, and it didn't happen for one reason or another. But we realized we lived a couple blocks away, and we just struck up a friendship. He a little background on him while we wait. He was in a band called Click Clack Boom. Click Clack Boom was a touring band in the 2000s, I believe, and they did a lot of cool stuff. Total rock and roll bands, destroyed hotel rooms, etc., whatever, blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, it was his dream to like at some point. Man, he should tell the story, but he wanted to start a pedal company. I know he doesn't even want to talk about this stuff. So he wanted to start a pedal company, at some point, and he just did it. Join. And okay, so Karen was a designer in New York for a lot of big fashion brands. Here they are. Okay, they can tell you the short story, but it might go long. Anyway, here we go. And they're also in Nashville at the moment. They live in Nashville, but they started in New York. We both moved to Nashville. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
You got a hat. I like it.
It's good.
I'm wearing antennas
too. And okay. Well, your antennas aren't really in the frame, so we just kind of have to assume.
Well, they're there. I'll kind of do this every now and again.
So I was giving like a quick background, which is essentially.
I was watching you. I was just letting you talk because it was fun.
I was
watching you talk about me.
To say. Oh my gosh.
We didn't meet in Brooklyn. We met in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay, at the Gibson showroom.
The Gibson showroom. I lived right next door to the Gibson showroom, and I was supposed to play drums for a band that night, and then we get there, and as it turns out, it was an acoustic show, and they did not want drums. So
and you brought all your drums with you too.
I think I brought a snare and some cymbals.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so that's fun times.
we just hung out and watched the other bands and met Andrew, and we just shared a cab back to Brooklyn and then hung out. He hung out at our house till like 5 a.m.
That's
and then we became fast friends.
So I was saying, Grant was in a band called Cookout Boom, and Karen did design for I want to say Tommy Hilfiger or Andy Hilfiger, one of the two Hilfigers, both of the Hilfigers, and you've done design for Toomey and just a bunch of other things here and there. Pretty accomplished New York designer, and basically these two started a company together called Big Ear Pedals, but it was called Big Ear NYC, and so I know you don't want to talk about this. We talked before, and you're like, all I do is explain myself and how this company started. Every damn podcast. You can curse. I'm gonna try not to.
It's hard for me to not curse, so
you can curse. It's just I try to keep it clean, So
squeaky clean in.
Yeah, talk about the startup Big Ear, and yeah.
Okay, I was a drummer in a band, but I have played guitar my whole life, and I love gear in general. I love pedals and amps, and my whole band used all my gear because it just was really important to me. And I always joke that when you're the drummer, you sit the closest to the amplifiers, so you hear everything first. So it's got to sound good, right? So the owner, if you've ever seen Marshall amplifiers, the owner of Marshall was a drummer as well. And there's just a list of pedal companies that drummers started these companies. So it's just a weird thing that happens, I guess. But I initially intended to start a custom drum company, but living in Lower Manhattan, that was really not a possibility. And she probably would have killed me because I was going to be cutting snare drums in our sink. Using the sink like a saw
I think
horse.
at that point though, we were in a studio.
Oh, a small little studio apartment
in the Lower East Side. So there is like no way that we would have been able to create
drums are big, pedals are small, and the other thing is I didn't know how to make pedals. So and this is a funny thing that to anyone that's listening that maybe is younger, doesn't know what they're going to do. Andrew and I talked about this earlier. I didn't know how to make pedals, but I knew I loved them. So I found the people that knew how to make them, and then I sold them. And I was able to communicate what I loved about them and how I wanted them to be and how we wanted them to look and just package the whole thing. But I didn't have to learn electronics at first. Now I do build all of our pedals 8 years later. But that was just because through time I learned and I got my confidence up. But, I just wanted to start a pedal company. I didn't know how, so I just started a pedal company and figured it out as I went, You
did it. And I would say it's probably like an oversaturated market, but you are basically selling, and you talk about this all the time with art, you're selling yourself and you're selling the people behind the product. So
people, they want to, we're a small company, and if you just want a overdrive pedal, you can there's a million that you can buy for 30, 40, 50 bucks on Amazon, But if you want to be part of, it's a community. We the pedal,
the experience.
Well, that too, but there is a huge community, and the Discord groups, and I'm in a couple in like pedal forums on Facebook for those that still use it. And it's just like, I got this new thing. Have you got this thing? Oh, check out this video of these people doing this thing. This is how, like, it's just, you know, it's fun. I love it. I collect them. I like, and even if I didn't know these people, I would have all their pedals, you know?
So we initially bonded over music because I would do like late night commercials and I'd be like, crap, I need a guitar. It's 2 a.m. And I'd be like, Grant, come on over. So he would just like come over and we'd play. We'd basically, he'd record for me and we'd hang out till like early wee mornings until you passed out on the couch. And that was basically the relationship. And I remember, I'm just going to tell the story because one time, so you played at least a couple shows with Edu when I was doing my solo project. And one time there was this band Ludo that invited me to open at the Cutting Room in New York, which is like probably like 500 to 700 people when it's like all open. And Grant assumed we were playing some small little club where there'd be like 15 people and my parents. And I remember we went upstairs and opened the curtains and there were just like a ton of people staring. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And you walked off stage.
I wonder why. Karen told me that story. Karen told me you told her that story. I have no recollection of that. And I don't know why. I don't know if I was having like a bad day or it had a meltdown or what was going on. Because I've definitely played in front of far more people.
I think I didn't prepare you. I think you just assumed it would be another small gig.
The funniest thing is I truly do not remember. I barely remember anything. That was the night Janelle sang with us, right?
Yeah. And
I remember that. And then I remember I played a Gibson ES-175 that wasn't mine that I was borrowing from Gibson. And so I wasn't familiar with the guitar and the stage was super dark. And I remember like these 5 things about the show. And so I remember just slopping all over my like one solo the whole time because I wasn't playing my guitar and
I don't even remember. It was a big blur.
Yeah, why though?
I just remember the curtains opening and they're like, our first guest tonight is Edu. And you're like, holy crap. And you
how many songs did we play?
Probably 35, 40 minutes.
Oh my God.
It was a full set. Yeah, it was intense. But we got through it, right? And made 0 fans. But no, I don't know. It was fun. Thank you, Ludo.
I was talking to a guy. His name's Calvero. For those of you on TikTok or Instagram, Calvero, or just people that listen to his music. We were listening to his new remix of his song Black Rain that came out today. But I was talking to him the other night about, you know, he was on his live. He mentioned that he needs a guitar player for a song, and I messaged him. I was like, hey, I'll play some guitar for you if you need it. And he asked for some samples, and so I was just digging through like emails that you've sent me of things and stuff that I'd done in my past. And it's so funny because I don't remember. There were so many nights, so many songs, so many things that I don't know whatever happened to them. I don't even know what they were, who they were. And
I have a graveyard of failed commercials on my.
I just have the bits and pieces that you emailed, so I sent him a couple bits, but long story short, yes, check out Calvero. But yeah, those days I have it's like I don't even drink. I haven't drank alcohol since I've known you. I'm almost 10 years sober, but my memory, for whatever reason, everything is like completely wiped of those years in New York City. I don't know if it's because like
an age thing.
Well, maybe, but also living in New York is a very like chaotic and stimulating place. And so I would see you by 2 a.m. and I'd been up, and then my day, I was just like a zombie.
The whole thing.
I guess. I don't know.
So what's the what is it like to be a pedal maker? What is your process like? Karen basically is in charge of everything that's not music related, essentially. I mean, you're more of a big idea guy / sound technician, or the sound. I don't know if technician would be the word, but you're a sound sculptor.
My buddy Jeff just sent some trees because he probably saw these. Hello, Jeff. So what it's like is like I work all the time. One of the reasons I work all the time is because I'm really slow. Like other people could get done what I get done in 12 hours. They could get it done in 8 hours. But I don't really like doing other things anyway, so I don't mind it. And a lot of the work is this kind of stuff, social media, making TikTok videos, YouTube content, just things that you are, because it's like you got to like if people aren't going to buy anything if they don't know what it is, and if they don't like the people behind it, if they watch your videos and they're like, that dude's a goon, you know, that's that. But if they watch your videos, like, I like this guy, I'm like him, then they're going to say, I'm looking for a particular sound, and I trust his opinion on it because we like the same music, we have the same types of guitars, we have the same types of amps, not ants.
You do have rabbits, but not ants.
Not ants. No.
Big Ear Pedals is not about your ears. It was named after your bunnies.
Well, no, we didn't have bunnies yet.
We didn't have them. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It was named.
But
after
tell the story.
Well, no, we did. We had Pam.
No. Well, okay. No.
I think
we
you
named
did
the company before we had bunnies, but the company was named, and it took about 2 years before we even had a product. In that time, we got a rabbit, and she loafs because, you know, cats or bunnies, they loaf, they like ball up in a little loaf. And so we called our first fuzz pedal the Loaf. But when
we first started, it was from an illustration that I did on a pedal for Grant, because he just did not like the graphic that was on it originally. So he Scotch Brighted it all off, and I drew this like rabbit, like maniacal looking rabbit, like twisting gears and stuff. And then he looked at it, and then he was like, big ear.
And history was made.
Yeah, that's how it went.
I went over to the desk, and this was in our studio apartment, and I like made the logo. It was gonna say Big Ear and had NYC underneath it. And then about 2 years later, we were at a lake house with my family vacationing at Cuca Lake in upstate New York, and we were having a fire, and I just like went in from the fire, and there was a chalkboard wall that was like a 8 foot tall ceiling chalkboard wall, whatever, and floor to ceiling. And I took the chalk and I just drew this big pedal shape, and then because I thought the name Loaf when we were by the fire, and then I just came inside and I wrote Loaf on a pedal, and I put 3 knobs, and I put our name Big Ear NYC, and then I went and got Karen. I was like, I think I found the look, because I was drawing things and sketching things and she was sketching things for like a year, trying to come up with like what would be our look. And then as it turns out, it's just big stretched out text.
So I'll say one thing I did learn for you is slow and steady and get everything right. You would drive me crazy with like Grant's the type of person that'll walk into a room, and he did walk into the studio when it was first built, and he's like, I like it, but what about this? It's two inches off from where it should be.
I am autistic.
Yeah, I also wanted to touch on that a little bit, because I think it's we've talked about this, but it's coming around where it's like more talked about on TikTok, and kids are like, yeah, I have this thing, and I am a functional human being. I think that a lot of times, like, I don't know, when I grew up, it wasn't as accepted, and it wasn't as I don't know, I can't think of the word, but anyway, you're a successful business owner. You are autistic. How does that affect your business? What is that like? If there's someone watching, I guess, what would you say to them?
I would say that the entirety of it is because of Grant's autism. If that's, or just because he is who he is and he is autistic. Everything that you do, right? It's sort of like the way that you look at things, the details, the ideas, the big concepts you're able to see in like a further away.
The thing about it is that
magnitude.
There's right now especially, there's a big conversation around the language. Am I autistic, or am I a person with autism? Like identity first thing. I'm autistic, and I know a lot of people that have autism will say that they have autism. I'm autistic, and the reason I say that is because on my good days and on my bad days, you know what I mean? Everything that I feel that is my biggest gifts, and everything that I feel are my biggest downfalls, it's all the same thing. It's not like I have like a book bag on and I can take it off and then not have a book bag on. Like in my life, a sentence or whatever. And so, it's just everything that I do. The way I lay things out whenever I'm doing everything, but it's just like the attention to detail, the walking in and seeing things that are 2 inches off, or seeing like it makes her so mad because she's a graphic designer.
It's so irritating
and
sometimes.
my buddy Jeff, it's funny that's in the chat right now. He's a graphic designer. He's worked with me in the past, so he can tell you the same story. I'll be like, it just like a hair to the left.
And I will have zoomed in all the way so that like it's like moving that.
Like most people wouldn't see it, but
like, he can see it.
I'll see it, but then I'll challenge her and be like, she's like, it's fine. I'm like, prove it. I was like, I bet you it's off. I bet you it's it needs to go to the left. And she'll like, draw lines and go, okay.
Yeah. He's right every time.
It does. It affects every aspect of your life. Sometimes it drives me crazy when we're going out. I mean, Karen lives with this every single day, but I'll be like, okay, we're going to a show. And the show starts at 7, and at 6 o'clock, I'll be like, okay, it's time to go. And I'll be like, okay, I just need to like grab my water bottle and go to the bathroom real quick. And then I have to change my shirt. And I don't like the way my mustache hairs. Like, it'll take forever for you to get out of the house, and we'll miss the show. Like, that happens frequently.
Yeah. So I actually sent Grant a TikTok video about this. This one girl that I follow has autism, is autistic, whatever. She was talking about transitions and how it's difficult for people with autism or who are autistic, whichever you want to go with. It's the difference between one activity to another is difficult. Like the transition change of it.
Like I'll be ready for 30 minutes to an hour, but I don't feel ready until I feel ready, and then I can leave. And nothing has changed.
Around the house.
Yeah, nothing will have changed until I say, okay, now I can leave, and then I can leave. And it's man, when I was in high school, I was late. I lived a block away from my high school, and every day I was late. Every day. And then I was late so much that I ended up getting detentions for being late. And then the more you're late, they give you more and more detention. So it's like first you get 2 or 1 or 2 or 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They just keep like adding them on top of the ones you already had. And nobody ever said like, why can't you get here on time? Right? Mm-hmm. Like they just kept adding detention days on until there was no more days left in the year. Then they had to start giving me in-school suspensions. So I was now like a bad kid sitting in the cube and not getting to socialize or see people all day. And I'm like in a little box because I was late every day, and never had a guidance counselor or a teacher or anybody ever say like, what is why do you get here late? Why are you putting your contacts in homeroom? Mm-hmm. Like, it was never, because I wasn't diagnosed till I was 21, because a lot of people think I look fairly normal or whatever, but.
Which I was gonna say, because you're highly functioning, and like, people first meet you and they just think, oh yeah, he's a quirky guy. They don't think like, oh, there's a reason for this behavior, or like they don't spend 24 hours with you and see all all that you go through on a daily basis. They just see like a normal guy who's like fun to hang around.
And also I worked with, people and like behavioral support specialists to like learn things about blending in with like humans, so
like frustrating.
So, and it is, but and so when I do like NAM, for example, when I talk to all these people on a day, it's not that I'm putting on a show, because it is the person I want to be, but it's just really hard for me to pull it out to be that person. And so I'm giving my all, and then I'll have like after NAM, I'll have like a 3 to 5, maybe 5 day, maybe week long meltdown where I can't even talk, function, get out of bed, because I'm just pooped, like mentally drained from the thing of like being normal or whatever that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just kind of, it's my thing. So that's not going to change. I've gotten better at it. And
I think being aware of it just in general and being able to prepare for it is really helpful.
And I think you two make a great team, because Karen's one of the most patient people, maybe the most patient person in the universe. And she understands you, and vice versa, you understand each other.
She's like high-fiving me.
And are able to like make it into like a positive thing where you can have this successful business, and you both have your space to grow and contribute in your own ways. Cool. So what what is next for Big Ear? Like what are you currently promoting? Where is the pedal game for Big Ear?
Real quick, Ryan Penny, he just asked if I can answer this. He said, do I feel forced to mask my autistic side? I don't feel forced to. Nowadays I don't go outside. I don't really do anything. I don't see people. I don't interact with anyone. And when I would, it would generally be people that I feel comfortable around or feel safe with, where I can just be Grant, and they're just like, you know, they're like, he's autistic, you know, but they don't mean it in like a bad way. It's just like, you know, like we're, for people that don't know what, like, I was diagnosed with Asperger's when I was 21. I'm not supposed to say that anymore because now it's ASD, right? I'm not supposed to say high functioning autism. Everything's changed in the past 15 years, right? But where the hell was I going with this?
I don't know. I can't help you here.
Sometimes I just blank out too. But
You're diagnosed.
oh yeah. So Asperger's. What I would tell people, I'm sorry, is I was trying to figure out this. For people that don't know what Asperger's was, now everybody does, or most people do. But when I was 21, 15 years ago, people did not know at all. People had no clue. I'd never heard that word, right? And so I would just tell people that didn't know, I would say, I'm clinically annoying. Which is
like, oh, okay, your diagnosis is clinically annoying. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm going to talk like people, because people would think in the beginning, they'd be like, oh, so wait, so that's a communication disorder. You shouldn't be, like you're talking, but you shouldn't be able to talk or stuff like that. People say shit like that. And it's like, no. I will talk. Like I can talk, man, like long after you've lost interest, I'll be still going. And you're like, this dude has been talking about his Proco rat pedal for the past 2 hours, you know, in 17 minutes. And you're checked out, but it's just like I'm unaware of it, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's so I'm trying to get better at that too. But
it benefited me for a long time because I so being a musician first and like someone who's in a band and recording second, you don't learn about all these things. Like when we toured, I told you we just had Robin and Joe just had those, what are they called, the multi sound things,
like a Boss multi-effects pedals. You said they won them at a contest.
Yeah, like we knew crap about that. Like it was just like, okay, it sounds pretty good, but you don't learn that stuff. It's not something you learn growing up. But I guess during that time when I was starting to become a producer and I met you, you were obsessive about gear. So I'd be like, oh, you would be like, well, these transistors sound different than these transistors because of such and such and such. Because that's the type of information that like sticks in your head. I feel like people with autism, in my experience, they if they like something or like sometimes they obsess over something and they're able to just like retain information like superpower. It's like a superpower. And with you, it's like music gear and sound, and you're like able to, like, you can tell the difference between 100 different guitars. Whereas someone like me, I never was trained and never like had the brain to do it. So I learned a lot from you during that period. It translates into like your work, because like you're a tone specialist basically. So you're telling people this sounds good, this doesn't sound good, I don't like it with this pedal. So you'll go through like several iterations of every pedal you put out because you need to make sure the sound is exactly what you're picturing.
And people will we'll get like emails or DMs where people want to know like, hey, I'm looking at getting this particular pedal. Will it sound good with this type of guitar and this type of amp? And I need to be able to be like, oh yeah, or no, I wouldn't use it that way. I mean, like, what type of sound are you looking for? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I would maybe go a different route, or even like if it's something we don't suggest or offer, I would suggest like a competitor's pedal, which a lot of, I mean, in the pedal game, it's really interesting because we are all like friends.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's like 3 people out of the whole like boutique pedal space that I don't like. And that's because nobody likes them because they're crusty people.
But who are that?
But literally like 99% of the people doing it are all sweethearts.
Like,
and
nobody has just one company's pedals.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird. It's like dressing in all one brand.
And we're all, the people that start pedal companies are people like this, that are like, musicians or artists, people that have done various things, and then they're like, you know what, I'm gonna start a company. Like, it takes a certain kind of person, and usually it's kind of a weirdo. Like, you know what I mean? Like the person that doesn't fit, that goes against the grain, that doesn't fit in a 9-to-5 position, that isn't gonna, you know what I mean? They're like, I work from 11 p.m. until 9 a.m. and then sleep till noon. I can't really do that for most people. I have to work for myself. You know?
Totally. And I'd say, Karen, you've kind of, for the most part, you've done like most of the graphic design, most of the presentation stuff. most of the look of the pedal, but you also do like custom graphics these days for people. Like people will hit you up and be like, I want a picture of so and so on my pedal. So you're kind of like finding ways to incorporate your more than your design skills, but you're a talented like graphic.
And paint. She's been
Yeah,
painting.
I've also, with the hand painting and everything, I've been doing a lot of pet portraits, which is kind of just like personally fun for me.
You see that comment, Andrew?
No.
I hope I'm not as ugly as John Lennon. That's terrible. Today's the anniversary of the day he died. I can't talk shit on this man. It says, holy shit, bootleg John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Oh my gosh.
I have love for you, Instagram commenter.
That's amazing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so pedals.
Painting.
So lately I've been doing some just like different like designs for people, just like for instance like the Damned. We are doing a special pedal for them. So I was able to incorporate their art into the pedal, which is cool because it like customizes it specifically for that band and and makes it more like close and near and dear to their hearts, which I appreciate. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's fun.
She didn't really touch on
the hand painting.
Hand painting. During the pandemic, we were just sitting in our house, and I was like, she had asked before in years past about.
Well, I've been talking about doing it for a really long time, but Grant kind of was like, "Oh no, we don't really need to do that. That's not like who we are exactly. Like it's not necessary, like."
I just wanted to like solidify our thing, build our thing,
Yeah. And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, I want to paint some pedals, and so I started. I just started painting for people and also just for fun. I painted our cat Albert on a pedal, which is not an Albie, which is a shame. But since he's named after it, but
yeah.
I was able to incorporate the things I love because I love animals into this new venture for Big Ear, because it kind of they might already have a pedal, a Big Ear pedal.
Yeah.
But if it has like something very specific, like your dog's face on it,
yeah,
it makes it so much more important. And yeah,
I just wanted to touch on that because basically, I think it goes. Most people here will not start a pedal company. I'm guessing, aside from maybe a couple people that Grant brought in the room, most people here are not interested in starting a pedal company. But you can basically start whatever you want in life, and as long as you go 100% in it and are a good person, and you're gonna get somewhere with it, and you can do it. It's not impossible. This guy is autistic, right? Is that the right thing to say?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And he has like a very successful pedal business and loves doing what he's doing. And Karen is able to, instead of, I know you were burnt out from a little bit from working in the fashion industry, but you were able to incorporate everything you do, you learned in that field into your own business. And
it's all manufacturing, so it's all kind of the same. It's different products, but it's like the generalized thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw a comment. Well, I saw a couple things I want to address. Someone just said, sounds like starting a pedal company is a lot of work. Starting probably any company is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But someone else asked if Karen has an Instagram. She does. It's Karen Shearhorn, which is a really hard name to spell. But if you go to our page, you'll find pictures of her. You can click them and she'll be tagged.
BigEarPedals.com.
Yeah, or at Bigger, or the username we're talking about right now.
There are only 2 Karen Shearhorns in the world, and I'm not the German blonde.
Yeah.
So.
If you can spell the name right. Which nobody can ever spell it right. But yeah, like if you like toy trains, or because it's a common thing that I bring that up just because a lot of you see people that are autistic like toy trains. There's a lot more people that you would think that like toy trains. But like let's say that's your thing, or I was telling you earlier, like Pokemon or whatever it is, like whatever thing, like start a YouTube channel, start whatever your Instagram. get the email, get a URL, and nobody's gonna know who you are for a year or two, potentially, right? Maybe unless something crazy happens or hits. But like, so you put in all this time and all this energy, and it's like a band or like anything else. Like you get in the van, you go on tour, you pay your dues, and then people slowly, eventually catch on. And it's the same thing with, you know, a business of any kind. If you love that thing, especially probably maybe nowadays, the weirder the better, like whatever the super like, you know, specific thing that you love or whatever, if you're passionate about it and you just want to do it all the time, then you don't care about it. Doesn't feel like work anyway. Like, it's just like I love pedals, you know? And so I have a pedal company and it makes sense, you know?
Yeah, we've actually talked about it, like for when we have kids, the biggest thing we're going to instill upon them is they really can do anything, but when they decide what they want to do, to really do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
good advice.
Go 100% and do to whatever you're doing. You know.
Yep. Cool. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up unless there's something else you want to discuss.
I want to say I don't know if people even know this, but like, sadly, I guess during the pandemic we don't see you as much, but we see you pretty often. Yeah. And in New York, it was an almost everyday thing. Andrew's like one of my best friends. Like I have my hometown best friend who was my best friend for the first 20 years of my life, and then I have my adult best friend who's Andrew Horowitz. Yeah. And so, and I don't know if Karen can say the same. But like, so it's kind of been fun doing this, and it's also been interesting doing this because it's funny. It's like I'm talking to you, but it's like I feel like you know me. Especially seeing the 24-hour thing, especially seeing me at night and in the morning, you know, sleeping on your couch, deeper and better than almost anyone in the world does. So it's funny to like answer questions as if I'm, you know,
well,
a stranger in a way.
These people don't know you, so.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm trying, and I'm also trying to like read comments and things, and then I realize it makes me look dead-eyed, and I'm just like, look like I'm like falling asleep, and I'm like, okay, I need to focus on Andrew, so I look excited. But I don't, and see, this is an autistic person's thoughts right now, I guess, is like, I have to think about my eyes because I don't want people to think I'm not interested.
Well, they keep talking about McDonald's.
Yeah, so all sorts of McDonald's stuff.
It's very interesting.
I can't look at it, because, well, generally just because it's too distracting. It's hard to like talk, focus, and if I find myself just drifting in the comments, then like, I can't like focus on the conversation as well.
Yeah. When I like blanked out earlier, I had been reading the comments like 10 seconds before, and then I was like, wait, shit, where was I?
Especially when people start asking questions and like start requesting to join, it just gets crazy. Okay, well, thank you both for joining me. BigEarPedals.com. Everything's sold out currently, but you're
we're getting caught up with a handful of dealer orders, and I don't want to.
Says out of stock. I'm there.
Yeah, I don't want to go further in. Oh, L's out of stock?
Then
out of stock.
Then we.
Oh well, they're okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Get
soon. In about 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, I'll be caught up.
But if you follow our socials, you'll get all the news of the new drops and everything. And if if you're specifically looking for Albie, there's an Albie, mailing list. Specifically,
or send us messages.
Send us messages.
Yeah, we'll connect you to a dealer.
We're humans
near you.
Like that's the benefit of being a boutique company, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, signing off. Bye.
Bye.
I'll be back next week. We're gonna do a holiday show. That's my plan. It's gonna be a bunch of people, great singers, doing some songs for the holidays, and that'll be the last episode of this season 2. So thanks for joining, and later.
See you, bye.